Hello guys, welcome back. I just wanted to post a quick video letting you guys know kind of what we did during the day today and what you need to be completing for me. We did start out class by working on our weekly IXL. Our IXL for this week is RR.2 and E3. I did, give a few minutes at the beginning of class to work on this, and I will be giving time the rest of the week to work on it as well. These are due on Friday, and yes, you do need to be completing those. When you do finish them, make sure that you send me your 80 or your SMART score in an email. That way I can put your grade into the grade book. Some of you who are out on quarantine may be a little upset about your grades right now. Just don't worry about them for the moment. When you get back to school, make sure that you are catching up with IXL because IXL will play a large role in your grade. So since we don't have a whole lot in the grade book right now, that is why it is looking so low. If you have any IXLs completed that you see on your Chromebook but are not in the grade book, please email me and let me know, okay? We also began reviewing and continuing to work on our brainstorming handout. We will be going over that here shortly. And we also began our outline for our mini essay. So this was the first half of class. The second half of class, we began by discussing good research tips. We watched a short vocabulary video, which I'm sure all of you will not want to watch just because they're very cheesy. We also put a few things on the whiteboard that make for good research tips because we are starting a research presentation today. So while the rest of the class will be doing in-person presentations this Thursday and Friday, you will be just turning in the slide. This is located on Google Classroom underneath the Unit 5 section for inventions. It's called the informative presentation, which we will go through that very shortly. Okay, so let's start by looking at the brainstorming handout together. Okay, so I am going to open this up for you and we'll go through the brainstorming handout. So our prompt that we are going to be working through for this essay is actually going to be, which sound would you like to be on the side of the Voyager 2? So we are going to be looking for just important sounds that represent our world or Earth. So I had students look through and they were to brainstorm 3 of the most important sounds that represent Earth. So you can think about animals and you can think about anything else that makes noise. Some of our examples were like rain and the ocean and birds chirping and the wind and all of those types of things. Those all were important sounds that could represent Earth. You'll be explaining why they are important right next to it. So say if you chose rain, you would put rain and explain why rain is important to our world. Okay. At the very bottom, we were talking about voices. So who are 3 voices who could represent Earth? Think of important people around the world. Who has made the biggest difference? And who would we want to be remembered? So we've gotten a lot of awesome responses here from past students who have put people such as Martin Luther King Jr., our president, past presidents. This can absolutely be anyone who you think needs to be remembered, but not just remembered by you, remembered by the whole world. So make sure that they are well known because this will help. So putting something like your mom or your dad, that yes, they might make a big difference in your world and you might want to remember them, but we need to think about the bigger picture here. Who would we want the world to remember? Okay, so that is what you are doing for your brainstorming handout. Make sure that you're turning this in when you're finished with it, okay? We also started working on our outline for our essay. So we just did the first three little lines here. Okay, we did the introduction today. We talked about hooks. So I hope that all of you guys remember and know what a hook is. A hook is a beginning to your essay that really pulls in your audience and allows them to kind of feel a connection to your piece and allows them to be interested in what you are talking about. So we can start out with a question, a quote, short story, a fact, anything along those lines are going to work for our hook. I am going to attach kind of a cheat sheet that might help you out a little bit. I used this with students in class just because we were having a hard time coming up with hooks. So I will be posting that shortly if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do for my hook. Your position is going to be very simple. You're just going to choose one of the sounds from your brainstorming activity, just one out of the whole activity, not out of just one box. So choose one out of the 6 here that you will be placing, and that will become the sound that you want to add to the side of the Voyager 2. So all you're going to say is, if you choose Martin Luther King, you will say, the sound that I would add to the sound that I would add to the side of the Voyager 2 would be Martin Luther King Jr.'s voice. Simple enough. It's just one sentence for this one. Very simple. Your explanation is where it's going to get a little bit lengthy. Your explanation is going to be at least 2 reasons. So why do you want to add the sound to the Voyager? Why is the person or the sound that you chose important? You need to think of at least 2 reasons for adding the sound. You should have at least one written down in your brainstorming activity, okay? At least one, if not 2. So this may be easy or difficult depending on how much work you put in at the top, all right? So that is all we worked on today in class. I will be posting the short page that we did work on together. Let me see if I can locate that here for you guys. That's not it. Let me see if I can locate it really quickly just so that you guys can see it through the screen, and then it may help you come up with something here. Okay. So let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go, right here. All right. So here's our prompt that you are going to be writing on. So imagine that you are able to choose a sound to add to the recording on the Voyager 2. What would your sound be? That's what you're going to choose from your brainstorming activity, okay? So let's talk hooks. The hook, we said, can either be a question, short story, fact or statistic, or a quote as well. Oops, or a quote. Okay, so if I'm continuing with my rain example, saying that rain is the sound that should be added to the Voyager 2, I can put, when you listen to the rain outside, have you ever wondered what the world might be like without the important sound of something so vital to life? Okay, so that is my hook for the rain. But we have a lot of students who have been using quotes. So if you choose a person's voice, you can start out your essay with a quote from them, okay? Make sure that you are putting it in quotation marks, okay? Mentioning who says it, that always helps, okay? For your position, here's a sentence starter. The sound that should be placed on the side of the Voyager is boom. That's all you need to have for your position. Just make sure you put your sound there, okay? And for the explanation, you can use this as a sentence starter. This sound is important to our world because, boom, okay? So we've been doing this together as a class. I hope that that helps you in the tiniest bit with this section right here. If you have any further questions on what you need to be completing for this assignment, just please let me know, and I will absolutely add more explanation. I will type out anything that you need me to, or give you any ideas that you think that you may need. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at our research presentation. Okay. So for our research presentation, I'm going to have everyone who is absent. You are going to be researching the Wright brothers. Okay, so I will put that in here for you guys, just so that you can remember. So your first in-class presentation. If you are absent during this lesson, you should be researching the Wright brothers. Okay, so you're going to be looking at the Wright brothers for your research presentation. You're going to be finding the who, what, when, where, why, how. Okay, so all of the 5 W's. You'll put who they are. So obviously, if you have the Wright brothers, you're going to put the Wright brothers. Give me some information about them. Tell me when they were born, what they did, where they're from. Okay, so all of those things are important when you think about the who. The what. So what did they do? What did the Wright brothers do? So, and then briefly discuss what they invented. Okay. When did they invent it? So what is the time period? Tell me about what happened during this time. Tell me about the time period that their invention came about. Okay. For the where did they create this invention? Okay, what is so special about where they did it? All right, and then why or how. So why did they invent what they did, and how did they invent it? Just give me a little bit of brief information about that. That's all that we did today. We didn't work on the slide today, so you won't need to be putting your information into your slide just yet. Okay, and I do have it all on the same page, so you do kind of see it here, but you don't need to complete the slide today. You just need to have the who, what, when, where, why, how. Just your research. All right. If you have any questions about this at all, please ask me, okay? This is a very short presentation, so you only need 1 slide, okay? And this whole assignment is located on Google Classroom. So I am going to kind of back up out of this a little bit. Hopefully it saves. And I'll take you to the assignment. So informative presentation. And here is the slides. So you'll be using one of the slides, and this is the exact same paper that we were just looking at. Okay. So you'll be working on both of those, and make sure that you hit turn in when you are finished. Okay. If you would like to throw your information into your slide and add your photos and whatnot, that's perfectly okay if you want to work ahead, just because you guys are at home. So you're on a different timeline than the rest of us. Okay. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please just ask me. I'm here to help, and I like to think that I'm pretty quick at responding to emails. So email me. That is the quickest way to get a hold of me. And if you guys need absolutely anything, please reach out to those in your class as well. They can help. Okay. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.